Morning, everyone. My name is Brendan Johns. I'm originally from Calumet, where I spent all my life growing up. Until recently, I moved to Hancock. I've been living there for about 4 years now. I recently just graduated from Northern, with a degree in entrepreneurship in May, and just started a role at the Upper Peninsula Marketing Department, Inc., filling the role as a project manager. My business today is Portage Paddle Sports, and it came from a great experience in Florida. So our family was taking a vacation there, and we had the opportunity to rent a paddleboard, and we fell in love with it right away. So later on that next winter, our family is kind of talking about an opportunity to grow recreation in the Upper Peninsula, and this is how this idea kind of arose. Not to mention, it quickly became a hobby of mine that I like to do in the summer very frequently. So the problems that we recognized in our community is there's a need for recreational activity. Our area is beautiful. Everyone wants to be outside and experience it from new views. So we wanted to really take it to a next level and really introduce something new, which is still new to our area, which is stand-up paddleboarding. So we have kayaking, which 44% of the UP population participates in. Whether it's a daily activity, weekly, monthly, or just once a summer, 44% of our population kayaks. So we wanted to build off that kind of established recreational activity and add something new, which brought us to stand-up paddleboarding. So the stand-up paddleboarding community grows each year, and it's on pace to be a $9.9 billion industry. Another problem that we really sought to fix was safety. So the canal is a very busy boat traffic on a nice beach day, so we wanted to really ensure that all of our customers are safe and well prepared and instructed before they go on the water. So the way that we're going to fix this is by being convenient. So we're located at Hancock Beach, so all of our equipment's right on the beach, ready for rent right away. There's not much of a time commitment. It's a 5-minute drive from town, and you can get on the water within 15. So it's very convenient. Everything is on site: life jackets, paddles. I mean, the instructors are there to help. They're at your discretion. Affordable rates. So we wanted to really address and open this up to everyone to really grow the paddleboarding community. And we did this by offering affordable rates that just start at $10 an hour per person to rent a kayak, paddleboard, whatever you wish. So we wanted to really open this up, make it convenient, make it affordable, and make sure that people don't have to worry about the financial commitment of purchasing a kayak or paddleboard to use it in the 3 months of summer that we get. And then certified instructors, which plays into the safety aspect of it. So all of our instructors are AED, first aid instructed, so that we can assist in anybody that's in trouble during their paddle experience or just at the beach in general. So also, going back to the instructors, they're very well knowledgeable, and we have them on the beach, like I said, at your discretion. So if you have any questions, concerns, or anything while you're on the water, they're there to ask you at all times. So we also provide a very comprehensive technique, instruction, preparation before you go on the water. So we make sure that you're fitted correctly with a life jacket, and it's on the device at all times. We teach you the correct paddling methods, how to get to a standing position, from a kneeling position on your paddleboard, and things like that. So it is kind of like a chance to learn these activities too, if you have never done them before, which plays back into the affordable rates thing. Is we want people to try these, we want people to experience them and do it often. So we had the opportunity to open something else. So we rented a building at Hancock Beach, which allows us to house our equipment. And the front of it is a concession stand. So we had the opportunity to offer something cool, like literally ice cream. So we have 16 to 18 flavors on rotation at a time of Gilbert's hand scooped ice cream right there at the beach. And I stand here to be corrected today, but I believe that we are the only hand scooped ice cream place in Hancock and Houghton now, after the closing of 32 flavors.
The bookworm.
The bookworm. Okay. So the bookworm has ice cream as well. I didn't know that. So I stand here to be corrected, and I was. So we do have ice cream, and I think that the biggest thing about the ice cream right now is letting people know that we have ice cream too. We're not just a paddle sports business. Moving on. So how are we going to grow this? So I have an idea that I'd like to implement, and it's called Make Some Waves. So what this event is that we'd like to host this in conjunction with the Bridge Fest celebration so that we can bring more people to the already successful celebration of the bridge. So what I envision is having a paddleboard race that starts from underneath the bridge and does some kind of a loop and finishes back underneath the bridge again, so that we can really bring more recreation to the area. We're also going to grow by adding new services. This paddleboard right here is something that we added new this year. It's a stand-up paddleboard that holds up to 7 people, depending on the sizes of if they're kids or adults or something like that. We'd like to really build this into team building and party packages, things like that. So we want to offer new services to really get something for everyone. So our vision. So we've been hit with a couple of challenges early on in operation. Last year, our first year, we had a really cold and wet June and into July that really kind of hindered our awareness right away. The second challenge was the Father's Day flood that we just had, and it affected a lot more people than us. But we experienced beach closures of 3 weeks, which really kind of paused our momentum that we were gathering coming into our second season. So moving forward, our vision is to become a summer destination spot in the Upper Peninsula so that we can cater to locals and tourists and really drive more people into our community, participate in the things that it has to offer, and really just take in its beauty. Questions?
Have you thought about coordinating with the Alumni Association event, the 1st of August? You know, I think there's a lot of, there's a drive to bring more families here, and it would seem that this might be a really good opportunity to advertise.
That would be.
Or do some special, like a special. If you start now, you can probably put it in the packet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they typically do have a packet that they hand out when
Yeah.
people arrive at Mission Tax, so.
That's an interesting observation because my class reunion's coming up, and I had a classmate ask that very question while they were in town. Is there paddle boarding or kayaking available? And we're more than likely be able to do that.
How connected are you with like the Hancock campground then? Because like I camped there in June with my family to make sure our gear actually works before we go too far out of town. But it's nice because we'll walk to the beach, and I'll say we bought ice cream there. But you know, I would say that there might be some people who actually RV there, and they might not know all the things that you're doing there.
Right, that's a great point. So last year we offered coupons for checking into Hancock Campground. We'd actually hand them like, hey, come get some ice cream from Portage Paddle Sports. And to be honest, we might have ran out of those, and I haven't checked on it yet. So that's something that I need to check on the amount of their supply and what they have. There are brochures available, and the people there are aware of us being at Hancock Beach, so I hope that they're passing people on.
Sure.
But no.
How many employees do you have?
Oof, we have about 8 to 10 that are
Really?
rotating through. A lot of high school workers,
Yeah, of
a
course.
couple.
Is it like from noon to 8 or something like that?
Yep, exactly. Our hours are 12 to 8. Yep. With rental hours outside of that by appointment. So if you wanted to paddle early in the morning or later at night, like this picture was taken at about 9 o'clock.
Nice.
So
Do you have any idea what is your customers 50% tourism, 50% locals?
it's actually the majority of locals right now.
It is.
People are coming to the beach to just enjoy the beach and the water. So that's something that we really want to. Our next step is to really attract the tourist part of it, because that's what we need to do now is build awareness and get some traction to people to let us know, like, hey, we're here, this is what we do, to really build up our customer base.
The question I have is, does anyone have a count of what our tourism actually is like? Because when I was a kid, it was, you know, lines and lines of cars coming in. You don't see those anymore, of course. It might, I don't know if the numbers might be it, but.
Right. So when I was doing some research, I couldn't find a hard number of tourists. It's mainly just tourists that come to the UP, not necessarily the Copper Country. So to narrow it down to how many people actually come to our community is hard to really get a number on. But I think that it's still pretty strong. I feel like there's a lot of people that visit here. Like we had a family that came kayaking that was from Finland the other day. So there's obviously the Finnish people that come to visit some family and things like that. So I think that the tourism is still strong, but like you said, it might not be as heavy as it once was.
Where are you advertising?
So we do Facebook heavy, and then we really try to push people that have come to share their experiences so that it can be pushed out further into social media. Other than that, we don't really exceed our budget isn't. I don't really put too much of a budget into advertising. We hope to have lots of people just come to the beach, and by word of mouth will kind of catch like wildfire in our small community. People talking about it really helps a lot to get people to the beach.
So I think most hotels have little racks with
Yeah.
things
Yeah,
in it.
we are in hotels with brochures.
Oh,
Yeah,
are you?
yeah,
And you
there's
can
some
kind of
brochures
test
over
that.
there too.
You can kind of test that if if you have a coupon or something, that's where they came from.
Right.
It'd be good to know that.
Even different
Yeah.
types of coupons depending on what hotel they're at.
Yeah.
You know, you get, you know what I'm saying? So that wasn't you, the light just went
Oh,
out.
okay.
I did not do that as a sign.
Lights up.
Time's up.
Time's up. That's it.
No, I mean, so that you could do some interesting market research there to see where they actually come from. If you have different types of coupons or a code on the coupon depending on where you dropped it off, because, you know, where is it coming? Where are these people coming from? Hancock Campground, Houghton Campground, different hotels. You know, do some sly stuff like that, and then look at the coupons that come in, and then find out where they're actually coming from.
You're doing a little bit of surveying on when they fill out the waiver, right? For the
Right.
assumption of risk, asking how they heard about you.
That is something new that we just actually incorporated too. Is we switched our waiver system to fully automated online, so that customers can fill it out on our website ahead of time, and that one waiver is good for the entire summer. So if you wanted to just fill it out ahead of time, then you can rent all summer long off of that one waiver. And on there we do capture some things about people, some information that we can track to see where they're coming from and things like that, whether they're on vacation, whether they're local, kind of things like that. So
I have one other suggestion. I taught for 30 years and I used to see a lot of brochures coming through the school, and just kids seeing those things, they bring it back home. And you would, even, it was cheap too, because you can just run them off.
right.
And of course, going to Michigan Tech and seeing the posters along there, or if you go to even a chiropractor office, people who are health conscious look for these things. And so I read all the posters they have there. And it wouldn't take a lot, if you got one person who's willing to go and distribute all over.
Yep. That's a good idea.
And I don't know, they have sometimes those little articles in the paper about businesses. I went out and bought kayaks so I could entice my family to come and visit me. But then we have to get them down to the lake. So that's a good point, hey, we've got these, when your family
Right there at the
comes.
beach, right?
Yeah, right at the beach.
Yes.
A friend of mine does yoga, and she actually teaches a yoga class on paddleboard, and maybe, cooperating with some local yoga teacher.
I'll have to get her information. That is something that we've talked about before too, was doing yoga classes on paddleboards. I know nothing about yoga though, so that was kind of, it stopped there.
So Whitney, these are usually posted on the national website. Is there a way that maybe the chamber could post this video on your website?
Yeah, definitely.
That would really help
Lisa's
promote
done.
some, and videos are all the things, so.
Yeah, no, if you send us a link, we can definitely do that.
Okay.
I'll talk to you after.
Do you get into any sort of sales of, you're in year 2, so I know you're building your asset base in terms of, these paddle boards, but as you get to retiring some of these boards, or have you had anybody approach you to say, hey, can you help me buy one or get into that?
So we've had only one person want to buy a board from us, and so we didn't have the stock to offer them, to sell it to them right then and there. So we helped them purchase one.
Okay.
So from there I don't know if we really want to get into the sales aspect of it, but having something available for sale might be something that we consider. As far as like depreciating these assets, we do it over a useful life of 6 years. So we anticipate them lasting 6 years before we want to replace them to make sure that they're up to safety standards and things like that. So after 6 years, which is still 4 years down the road, we'll probably be selling these into the market and passing them on so we can update our fleet.
So when school starts at Michigan Tech and Finlandia, that's another good place to, you know, get your September business.
Right, I actually have been reaching out to, in the efforts of hosting a health promotion class. So if they wanted to do like a half kind of thing, so in September when they first come up, they want to do a month of like paddleboarding and kayaking as like a health promotion, and then the second part like a swimming or some kind of class like that. So
I was thinking, do you do like paddleboard tours, like maybe historic tours of the waterfront, or?
yeah, so I'm actually working on a date right now to do like a learn to paddle session, but that one's going to be kind of like a teaching thing for if people want to come by and really get hands-on learning. But I'd like to do that throughout the whole, like whenever someone wants like a learn to paddle tour kind of thing like that, where you paddle with one of our staff members, and we've done that probably 3 or 4 times, not this year yet, but last year we did it about 3 times where we took people out and kind of showed them a few spots of the canal and things like that, so. Yep.
Yeah. So, this just makes me think about my father I grew up in Minnesota, and so I would say that their version of like Bridge Fest, what they've started doing is they've done a tour of the lakes. And so people with kayaks come together and they basically go and do this long tour. They hit a couple of locations along the waterway, including a place for lunch or whatnot. So people do, you could, I don't know, in terms of what you're doing with Bridge Fest, if you did some sort of competition, there might be some people who might want to do something more leisurely.
Right.
And some people might want to even just rent your equipment for that event and or, you'd be the sponsor for it. But, just, again, it's events and things like that that can really drive awareness of what you're doing here.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
And then any thoughts for doing things in the wintertime?
Well, in the winter time, we kind of shift gears and sharpen skates. So our family is Center Ice Skate and Sport.
Oh, okay.
And my dad here is the owner of that. So we kind of switch gears from the summer to the winter, from paddleboarding to sharpening skates. So
Gotcha.
as for right now, that's kind of our
Go-to.
Yeah, that's our plan that we've got set in stone for us right now. And I don't know what I've thought about it in the past of getting a trailer too and loading all this equipment up and finding someone in the south that wants to rent them from us so that they're in use during the summer too, so they're not just stored in our building. Someone else can kind of run a business in the south or something for a few months and rent them from us and use that equipment. So
That might be me in retirement.
That's right.
I'll volunteer for this.
Do you ever travel with the paddle boards? Like, would you consider going up? I don't know if they have one at Copper Harbor, a paddleboard rental.
Yeah,
but
so-
would you ever take them up there?
that's another good point. So in our fleet, we do have inflatable paddle boards that come in just a small duffel bag. Everything that you need with a foot pump. They're sturdier than our hard plastic ones. So we take those quite a bit of places. Like I've traveled to Marquette to paddleboard. I've gone to Copper Harbor a few times. Bay Degree, those are good places. Yep. So those inflatable paddle boards are awesome to take off site. And then we also do allow people to take them if they want to, as long as they have a secure way to transport them, like a trailer or a truck or roof rack, something like that. We also will deliver to if someone reaches out. We'll
Like
bring
a
it to them.
tour group, if you had like 5 friends that wanted to go someplace.
Right. Yep. Yeah, we have a trailer that we can deliver them to.
Right. So what can we as a community do to help you?
Come to Hancock Beach. No, I think that this will help. One of the reasons that I really wanted to take part in this is to kind of get the idea into some more people's heads, so that we can kind of build some more word of mouth and get the idea out there. Like, hey, we got ice cream and paddle boards, and come hang out at the beach and have a good time. So we really wanted to be, like I said before, come a destination spot in the community where people, not like when they're looking for a place to spend their summer days, they're like, we're going to Hancock Beach, like that's the spot to be, because if someone can sit there and lay in the sun and I'm not one to lay in the sun, like I want to be doing something, it'd be perfect for me. I'd go paddle boarding while everyone else can lay in the sun, so, but,
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you guys.